Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Conquerors crew. And I have an awesome guest. Every week my guests just get better and better. It's really awesome. So we have Denise Ann Willis here today. And we're going to get into it. She talks with mainly ladies about toxic relationships and stuff like that. Also, she's a cancer conqueror, so we got that in common. And guys, to always kind of lay the groundwork, and we like to kind of set the vibe of the show, I just go through our 3 pillars real quick. And for those of you that's your first time, cool. And for those of you that listen normally, you probably need a reminder. Anyways. So hope is the first one. And for us in Conquerors Crew, hope stands for helping other people excel. And so, I had a partner that used to do this with me a while back, and we decided we wanted to do it on Wednesdays. And the reason is because it's the middle of the week, it's humpity hump day. It's kind of, and are you having a good week? Are you not having a good week? If you are, we'll share some hope. And if you aren't, we'll come get some. And so that's kind of what it is with the hope thing. And then we have grit. And grit stands for the G is for grace. And the kind of grace we're talking about is not the kind of grace that you give to others. We usually are pretty good at that, unless we're narcissists. I've done a few episodes on that. Another subject, okay? Yeah. But the kind of grace I'm talking about is grace with yourself. I had a mentor when I was going through my stuff, and I lived in New Zealand, and he said something that has always stuck with me. He said, Trent, you are so kind to everyone else, but you're not kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, man. And that's always stuck with me since then. And so that's the kind of grace I'm talking about. R is for resiliency. And, I had this discussion with a lot of people that think they don't have resiliency. Like, oh, well, I could never have done what you did and be cancer, like Denise and I have done. But let me tell you, you rise to the occasion. You do have resiliency, but you don't have the ability to run an Ironman unless you've been training for one, right? So you got to do little steps, right? It takes training, and you can develop those skills, and you can be that, but don't do that to yourself. Have some grace with yourself, right? And the I is for integrity. Yeah. And again, it kind of seems like we're always pretty easy to go like, you over there, integrity, breaking the rules. But I'm talking about the integrity where it's you're up, you're worried about something, right? It's the middle of the night. You look at yourself in the mirror. Are you being honest with yourself? Are you having integrity with yourself? And that's the kind of integrity that I'm talking about. And that's the kind of integrity, that I had to have when I got cancer for the 3rd time. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I could only eat milkshakes, I had a tumor growing into my stomach, and I was real skinny, and I looked like death. And I had to be honest with myself, like, I think this is going to get you if you don't do something. And thank God we figured it out. So that's the kind of integrity I'm talking about. And then T is for teachable. And it seems like, I just had a birthday. And my Lord, the more that, I'm like, golly, half century. Yeah, half century.
That's
the big one, right?
That's nothing.
That's what everybody says that, that has a little bit more, shall I say, knowledge than I do. And it's like the more that I feel like I know in life, the more I know I don't know, right? And I think we all feel like that. And hey, when you get cocky and you start thinking, you get knocked off your high horse. And so, that's the 2. So it's hope, grit, and no quit. And hey, that needs no explanation, right? So, hey, welcome to the show, Denise. Great to have you. And thanks for listening to our 3 pillars. I know that you identify with all those a little bit in some way or some fashion or something. And I'm just curious, while I was going through those, did one of them stick out to you? Did something maybe kind of resonate with you that you thought and you would share?
Well, I named my ministry Grace Ministry, so that was something, but also integrity. When I had a coach, I didn't really know what integrity was, and she taught me that. And you're right, integrity with yourself.
Cool.
We can judge other people, but we're not supposed to. But
Right.
integrity with yourself when you can do what you're supposed to do when nobody's looking, So yeah, no, that definitely stood out. All your pillars, every acronym was perfect. Yeah, no, I
Thank
can
you.
relate.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's what the Conquerors crew is built on. And those are really important to me. I kind of have a couple of hashtags like grit don't quit and just win today. And you led me into this. You led me into this, Denise. Because guys, this is the Conquerors crew shirt right here. And
Nice.
let me just show you. Grit don't quit.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. I went to a conference a few weeks ago and I had those made and wore those around.
Nice.
So I usually don't advertise my stuff, but thanks for that little advert lead in. I appreciate it. You can come back anytime, every week. So
No, but I agree, Trent, don't quit. I mean, that's where I'm at with, my whole life. And you just turned 50, right? 50?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
On Sunday, Mother's Day, I'm going to be 74.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what? My mom's birthday is May the 11th, and it's almost always like Mother's Day as well. So now, do you get two presents, or do people get cheap on you and just do one and go, happy birthday, Mother's Day? That's cheap.
I'm not a mom other than to my dogs. So,
okay.
So I get one present. It's for my birthday.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Good for you. Yeah. Hey, you know what? We don't have any grandkids.
I truly believe age is just a number. I feel so young at heart,
Yeah.
And
awesome.
I just feel like my light shines and people they're always shocked when you don't see me in person, but you see on my camera, but they're like, there's no way. I'm like, yeah, way. Yeah.
I don't believe that you're going to be that old either. You definitely don't look it. And hey, you know what? I think it's all here.
Amen.
It really is, isn't it? So, I'm just curious, like, what part of the country do you live in? Where were you raised? Brothers and sisters, can you just give us a little bit of kind of the Southern 20 questions without the 20 questions?
Okay. So I live in San Antonio, Texas. Pretty cool town. Yeah. Was raised mostly in Florida. My dad was an air traffic controller. So we moved around a little bit to Puerto Rico, North Carolina, and back down to Florida. Okay. Had two sisters. One of them is still living. She's 85. And the other one died about 7 years ago with Alzheimer's.
Oh, okay.
Shoot. So, and I went through that whole process. That was bad. I had to call Adult Protective Services and get her put in a nursing home.
Oh, that is rough. I've worked with some of that. It's so hard for caretakers. It's
but I'll say this, Trent. When I was a little girl, she was a little bit older than me. She ran havoc with our family, and none of us could ever understand. She was just so weird, violent and whatever. Well, they didn't even know back in that day what I'm sure bipolar was. She was also bipolar.
Okay.
So wow. I just became this invisible kid, so my parents didn't have any trouble. So that was part of my life which did not benefit me in any way by being invisible. But
can I ask you? Yeah, where were you at? The sister, 1, 2, 3.
I'm the baby.
Oh, okay. All right. To me, it's interesting, when you kind of know that, and a little bit, you start to kind of, well, we all do this. We kind of create a picture about who this person is and who they were and everything. So yeah, okay, I got you. I'm the oldest, type A, kind of, but I got ADHD. Obviously, we know that. I mean, that's no secret to that shit. But hey, you know what? I got a couple other things too, and you know what? I got a few talents and skills too, baby. So I'm just gonna take the cards I got, and I'm gonna play them, man, and I'm gonna win my hand. And it sounds like that's what you do a lot too.
Yep.
So
amen.
Okay. You moved around. The youngest sister, and okay. And what have you done? What did you do? Like, is your career before this? Just give us a little snippet. I'm just curious. Yeah.
Before I became a life coach, wrote my book and do speaking engagements.
Yeah, yes,
I was an accountant. Okay. I hid behind the computer and love, to this day, I still like spreadsheets. I like the things balanced.
Me too. I love them.
I'm weird.
I love them. It organized my life. Not my brain, but my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, so this is a whole new season for me. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can step into anything that if your heart calls you to do it.
Yes.
And this helping women, coaching women has just evolved. I had my own coach, and she changed my life, and I want to pay it forward. So, do you want to hear a little bit of background about me as far as why I wrote the book?
Yes, absolutely. Please. Yeah. If I don't, should I go get a cup of coffee and come back?
No, we need your face on the camera.
I'm joking. Yes, please tell us. Yeah, I'd love to know.
I did write the book on loving yourself, and we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm very transparent. So when you asked me earlier about subjects not to talk about, there is none. I'm very transparent. I think people need that. They need to know that they're not alone.
Yes.
So what happened was, like I said, I became kind of invisible, tried to stay out of my parents' way while my sister was being kind of crazy, violent with my parents. My mother was very cold, and she was, everything was conditional love. So I learned at an early age to people please, which is extremely dangerous, because what happened is I became a magnet for men that could control me. And because I didn't get the love from mama, I was looking outside of myself. Sure. And I went through one bad relationship from another, and I was physically beaten. I was raped. I went until you learn, you just keep repeating some of the same patterns. I finally got to where the physical stuff was behind me, but I was in emotional abuse.
Okay.
So at some point, I just dropped on my knees and I said, God, what am I doing wrong? And I heard Spirit tell me, you're looking outside of yourself for love.
Oh, now have you been a Christian all your life, or is this?
Yes, but a lightweight one. I never had hardly any church or any Bible study, but I knew there was a God, and I had given my life at a Christian camp. But even today, I still go to Bible study, and I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't know. But I believe we all have that hardwired in us. And he basically let me know when I was about 10. One day I was riding my bike, and I swear, Spirit said, I'm not outside of you. I'm not outside. I'm in you. And I knew then. So I don't know. Cool. Without having any education on church and stuff, it was just kind of like, you just know. So anyway, I went through like 30 years of up and down, and I've been married, 7 times.
Oh my goodness. Oh my heavens.
But the man that I'm with now, we've been married 14 years. He's the love of my life. And,
that is wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
And had I not done all the work that I did on myself, I never would have attracted him.
And that's what I think people, they get into self-blame. And when I was talking about the grace with yourself and the integrity, if you haven't pulled all these tickets, and you haven't tried these things, you wouldn't have been exactly where you needed to be, exactly how you needed to be, in the right place at the right time to be where you are. And people are like, God, I messed this up and I messed it up. I think it's all meant to be like it is. Because you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have found this wonderful man. You probably wouldn't have treated him right, or something, right? And so you had to go through a few things. You had to try a few flavors of Baskin Robbins before you found the right one. Good, man. That's how it goes, right?
Right, right. But
that
the Spirit, God telling me, looking outside of myself for love was my transformational point. That's my turning point, where I focused everything on me. Finally pulled back, no relationships, found a coach and a therapist, spent 12 years working on me, because I had always morphed into whatever they wanted. I didn't even know who I was. And that's one of the things when I work with women, you start to learn who you are, because women give so much of themselves away. They're just such givers, and they think it's selfish. I always say, fill your own cup and you can serve from the overflow.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. That's really good.
Yes. And you can use it.
Yeah, I might. Golly, I've got a couple of a couple of cancer clients right now. Gosh, and it's like it's not just the one person; it's the whole family, right? And
Absolutely.
oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, those are good. Yeah, I'm going to use that later
Yeah,
today.
I know. When you hear that C word, it just blows you away. I
It
remember
does.
when I first heard it, I was very blessed. I had a good gynecologist referred me to the surgeon, and he asked me, "Do you want a nurse navigator?" And I was like, "Yes," because my brain had turned into mush.
Oh
So
yeah.
she arranged all the appointments and took
Oh,
about 2 months before I was on his surgical schedule, and I was determined I was not gonna miss that date. So with
right.
her help, I had all the testing done that needed to be done, and then
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I have, it's maybe in our show notes about my book, that I
Yep.
have healing scriptures, and
Mm,
I read those for the 2 months prior to my surgery, and I really, really felt they were very beneficial, and I've sent them to several women that I know that have had cancer, and they've been very grateful. They too felt that by staying in the Word and
yeah.
reading it over and over again, they were able to go through their process and feel safe knowing God was with
Yeah. I love that. I'm the same. I'm not like a Jesus freak,
them. No.
whatever. But man, I am a Christian. I believe in the Bible and Jesus, and that when I die, I'm going to heaven and all that
Yep.
good stuff. Um, and my mother, I mean, she is a walking saint. God bless her. I mean, has been just an unbelievable. But both of my folks, very good, ethical, moral people. And I wouldn't have beat the cancer without God. He and
Right.
I had a couple of fights. We had some arguments. He got cussed out a few times.
Mhm.
And but you know what I never did? I never turned my back on God and said, "It's your fault. You
Yep.
did this.
Yep.
He's the answer to help you out. He's not the cause. The cause the cause on the earth is to me it's the devil, Satan, or
Mhm.
evilness, or whatever you want to, because that's this domain and
Right.
we're in it, right? And so I never did that. And hey, I beat pancreatic cancer with less than a 5% chance.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I mean, I'm fixing to be 5 years cancer free, and it was impossible. And
Mhm.
made a deal with God, man. I made a deal. I said, look, if we beat this, I'm just going to tell my story. I
Yep.
don't know how to do it. I'm just going to do it because I
Mhm.
own a business overseas and for 14 years or something. And golly, I mean, I shipped popcorn all over Australasia, and it was successful and good and great and everything. And it just all came crashing down in 2019, right? When I got the hip cancer. And then
Mhm.
the next year I had lung cancer, and the next year I had pancreas cancer, and boom, boom, 3 years in a row. And COVID, and come on, live with mom and dad, sell the business. I mean, yeah. So, but hey,
Yes. Yeah, you were tested and you passed for sure.
kind of, felt like Job a lot, like I was just like, dang, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm waiting for the riches now, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If you say you won't give me more than I can handle, I'm done. I've handled it all.
Yes, exactly.
But I
You know,
agree
and
with you, Trent. It's not people blame God, and I always feel bad when it's like, "He didn't do that. He's there to walk us through it. He'd never caused that. He loves us." You're right.
yes,
It's the world that we live in. It's a fallen world, and look at all the pesticides and all the other stuff. Who knows what
yeah,
contributes to our
yeah,
cancer.
yeah. That's
But,
exactly right. That's
yeah.
exactly right. Okay, just a question. I'm just wondering, like, so you've been with your man for 14 years. How did you guys meet? I'm just curious. How did you meet? Where'd you meet? Tell me just a little bit about that. I know it's a random question. I just wondered.
No, that, once again, God is so good. I'm gonna give you just a tiny bit of background. He's so good.
Okay.
I'd waited 12 years. I had a quote testosterone-free house.
Oh, right.
Nobody nobody was allowed in except for the repairman. So when I finally decided after 12 years of, working with my coach, my therapist, and finding out who I was and learning to really love me, I love me and I love my
Yeah,
life.
that's
And
awesome.
so I was in a really good place, but I was dating someone that was kind of from Chicago. No offense to anybody he's kind of bossy. Anyway, my girlfriend brought a puppy to me because my other dog of 16 years had passed away, and
Wow.
everybody knew that was my child, and not having real
Yeah.
children. So long
Yeah.
story short, she brings him over and he's there and he gets real nasty with her. And I turned into this lioness and was like, don't you talk to my friend like that, and get out. You know what? That was the best thing that ever happened, because a week later, one of the girls I worked with invited me to a Christmas Eve party, and that's where I met my husband.
Oh, cool.
And had that whole thing not happen where he,
Right.
whatever, I wouldn't have met him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have met him.
Yeah. So, San Antonio, I like San Antonio.
Good.
Do you still go down to
The Riverwalk?
Yeah, I was like the waterfront. Do
Riverwalk.
you go down there still?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. And when
Yeah.
my sister was here last 1 or 2 Christmases ago, we took one of those buggy rides with the horses and the lights all over them, like a Cinderella.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looked like a Cinderella pumpkin thing, whatever.
Yeah,
It was so beautiful with all the lights. If nobody's been to San Antonio, that they drape all the trees on the Riverwalk with lights, and it's just magical.
The restaurants are cool, and
Yeah.
it's cool to like kind of you kind of go down the steps, and it's like kind of a river. It's kind of a little bit of a river, kind of like I don't know what you call it, like a maze or whatever, and it's all connected, right? And they have these little boats, and the bridges aren't that high, but the boats are like they're flat.
Yeah.
And they're like barges. Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't know. It's a cool place. And
Definitely is.
San Antonio, right? They're like in the they're in the playoffs. They're in the NBA
Yeah,
playoffs.
the Spurs. Yeah, go Spurs.
Awesome. That's cool. My aunt and uncle live in Austin.
Oh, okay.
And my cousin lived there, and I used to work IT, and I'd work projects all over. And he and I would go down to San Antonio and have a weekend on occasion when we were like, late 20s, early 30s, kind of, fun times. I love it. Yeah. Cool place. I like San Antonio a lot. Super cool place.
Yeah. Not cool during the summer.
What? Right. Temperature. Oh my God. I mean, we went and we had Thanksgiving with my aunt and uncle, my dad's sister and all them. And my God, I'll tell you what, from just almost like the state line between Oklahoma and Texas, all the way to Austin where we were, it's concrete, man. It was on the concrete. And I lived in Dallas from 2000 to 2005. And it was too much concrete for me then. So, I kind of was like, I'm out of here. I went and did the international thing and, whatever. But I just cannot believe like the development, and it's just like the economy. What are you talking about, the economy? It's just like building all the time. So
yeah,
Texas
it's a lower cost of living here than a lot of states, and also we don't have state income tax.
Yes, yeah, that's a big pull.
That's a big pull.
Yeah.
So where are you at, Trent? Can I ask?
Yes, ma'am. I'm in Northwest Arkansas near Bentonville, Rogers area.
Okay.
My dad worked with Walmart for like, golly, I think about 50 years before they were not even, something. And we're from North Louisiana, and like when the whole Walmart thing was kind of in its infancy, like, golly, I mean, like early 80s. My dad was doing oil business with Walmart. Wow. Back then. Cool. And so, yeah, I mean, he retired, 2 years ago, I think. Yeah. So, it just made more sense for him to be, closer to the Walmart headquarters than to the oil headquarters, because he spent all the time with them.
Yeah.
The Walmart guys.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. And, it's a beautiful part of the country. We got the mountains, we got some lakes and rivers and all that stuff. And, yeah, I love it here. New Zealand was my country. I mean, I had been all over. I lived there. I'm a dual citizen. I mean, that was my deal. And then, my stuff happened. My cancer stuff happened. And hey, it's taken some time to accept that. But you know what? I'm happy. I'm good.
Good.
And I think that I would still be slaving over that dadgum popcorn business. Seriously, I brought kettle corn to New Zealand. They did not have kettle corn. They had no idea what it was. So, they had caramel popcorn, they had butter popcorn, and I had a buddy that had done kettle corn in his home state in Washington. I met him in the boxing gym, and he said, "Hey, do you want to start a weekend business and just see if we can make some cash?" And because he had done it in his home state in Washington. I went to all the supermarkets. I looked around, and back then, New Zealand, it's like they take after the English with that. Super boring and bland. I used to carry around my own Tabasco, for the love of God, and so when they had kettle corn, they just blew their mind. Salty sweet, you can put that together. Oh my God. And it went from a weekend business to this like manufacturing thing, and we would make 50,000 bags of popcorn a day, and pallets and pallets and pallets out the door, and shipped all over Australasia. And yeah, it was just kind of one of those things. So but hey, I had to get rid of it, I had to change, and I had a midlife crisis. And so this was kind of what it turned into.
Well, God took you in a different direction, and now you're here to witness to people and help them through their own journey.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I'm just curious, let's go back a little bit. So you kind of knew that you wanted to work on yourself, and that you wanted to do some things. How did you originally kind of find a coach or this person to talk to? Because back then, 15 years ago, it wasn't coaching. It was more like you're going to the psychologist. Yeah.
It was in 2000. It was that far back.
Okay.
So it was as usual, God's divine timing. It was a God thing. I went to a ladies' luncheon, and this woman approached me, older than me, and handed me a card and said, "Hi, I'm Martha, and I'm a life coach." And I was like, I took her card and I walked away. And she says, "If you ever have any issues, just call me." And about 3 weeks later at work, I was a VP of a advertising agency, and it was the males club. Okay. So all the male VPs, they would just gang up on our female. They just ignore us, and we couldn't, have a say. So long story short, I was just so frustrated. I remember having her card. I dug it out of my purse and I called her and I was like venting, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." And she gave me a couple of really great tips. And, from then on, I called her and I said, "I would like to work with you," because I wanted to quit that day. And I said, "I don't have a choice." And she says, "You always have a choice. You can choose to quit, but how are you going to feed yourself and pay rent? Or you can choose to learn more skills so that you can speak up at these meetings and don't feel that you don't have a voice." So that's
cool.
what happened. And then she became my mentor, and we loved each other for many years until she passed on.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the therapist who went way deeper, how you got to get the root. That was another thing. I read an article in one of these crazy magazines that was floating around town that had all kinds of different modality people, advertising, etc. And her article was Love Hurts. And I could relate to everything in that article. And I remember calling her and leaving a message, and she called back and she says, "Do you want a consultation?" And I said, "Absolutely not. I want an appointment." And she has gone on to write several books. Cool. I feel bad at the moment. Maybe I can look for it. She has done fantastic. She doesn't live here in San Antonio anymore, but she's gone on to train a lot of people. And she is one of the ones that told me about the Meadows. Okay. It's in Wickenburg, Arizona. And Pia Melody, who wrote one of the books on codependency, has a workshop in addition to the rehab facility. So I lived off campus for a week. They bussed me on and I went to the workshop. And I'll tell you what, those therapists, they know how to push every button you got. But that's how they get down the core of everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And I went twice. My therapist said, "You're the only person that's ever gone." And I said, "I've been twice. I wanted to heal. I wanted to be the best version of me."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. there's a friend of mine, and she does a lot of things that I do, but her father and brother took their lives many years ago, and she is suicide prevention, and that's what her podcast is about. And man, I am telling you, like she had suicidal ideology. And I didn't even know what that was until I went on her show and we kind of talked about it. But I mean, here she is. I'm talking knock out, gorgeous girl. Okay, living in California, like working during the day, cocktail waitress thing at night, doing her thing. And she said, all I could think about is going home and how was I going to kill myself that night? And she saved up all her money, and she went to a oh God, Joe Dispenza,
okay,
conference weekend deal, and you know, like it was like $10,000 or something, and she was like determined. I'm not going to take my life. I am going to figure this out. And you know, like it sounds kind of like what you did. You just like, I'm determined, you know, and that's kind of how I got about the cancer. It was like I just made a promise to my mom and dad. I was like, you know, like one of my good friends took his life a little before I got cancer. I was watching his parents bury him. It was just horrific. My brother's best friend died of cancer a few months before I got it, and he was like 38. And watching his parents, and that was a sad thing. And I just thought, okay, I don't know. I'm just not doing it. I'm not dying on you. I'm just not dying on you. And they're just like, you're crazy, dude. And I'm like, yeah, but just there's a proper order, and we're gonna follow that, and we're not getting this out of order. And things are out of order right now, but we're gonna fix this. And it's gonna be sad, but I'm burying you. You're not burying me. Okay, that's the deal. And so that's the promise. And I was like, dang, I made a big promise. It was hard to keep, you know, but hey, we beat that. So that's what you do, right?
That's right. And that's what I like your shirt.
To a point, hit rock bottom, maybe.
Yep. Hit rock bottom. And then you look up to hit the big man, ask for some help. But I like the back of your t-shirt. You don't give up. You keep going and going and going. Grit, everything. You just keep going. You have so much more resilience, as you said earlier, than you realize. Some of us, I think in the past, I know myself, I would give up, but having someone to guide me, the coach, and teach me, she taught me so many life skills. I didn't know about boundaries, you know, I didn't know I had value.
Yeah, I hear you.
I didn't know all kinds of stuff. She taught me a lot of things that I didn't know. And a lot of my clients don't know about boundaries. And, you know, we practice that. We practice self-care. Everybody, for some reason, society makes it seem like if you do self-care, it's selfish, and it's not. It's very essential. You need to do something for yourself. Yeah.
I fully agree with you. So, you know, I'm just kind of wondering, like, tell us your typical kind of client. Like, who do you kind of work with normally?
Well, I have a couple of different, they're all a little bit different. Cool. So the one I'm working with right now she's working in a toxic relationship, and she's having a really hard time because her bosses are narcissists.
Okay.
So it is a little different. I actually was in a relationship with a narcissist, and that's different when you're vested, you know, but and then guess what? I broke up, went back to work eventually, and I had a female narcissist, but because I wasn't vested, I know it, because I wasn't vested in her, I was able to handle her. Yeah. But, you know, when your job is on the line and, you know, the job market's slim pickings and you're forced to stay there and so I just work with her on working with herself, looking for gratitude, do some affirmations, focusing more on herself, and, you know, getting out of the politics little gossip in the office. And she's not well liked because she won't participate. But you know what? I told her, who cares? You got to, when you get to the point where you feel good about yourself, you don't really care what other people think about you, especially, as you said, if you're a person of integrity. So that's one. Another one, she flew in from Chicago here to San Antonio. I met her at one of my book signings with a suitcase and her daughter. Left a narcissistic husband. She worked with me for a while, got really, really well. She stayed with her mom, and then something happened at her mom's house and she took off, found a shelter for her to stay in, and then eventually a woman's home. And she has written me, called me, And she feels about me the way I felt about my coach, how I changed her life. She came to know the Lord,
Wow.
and her daughter knows the Lord, and she's just so thankful that our paths crossed. So
That's cool.
it's
I like that.
amazing to be able to let somebody see that they have that light inside of them, and I believe in them before they believe in themselves. So
That's right. That's what that's what I tell my guys. I'm like, hey, if you're not having confidence in yourself today, borrow mine because I got confidence in you. If you're just out of hope, if your gas tank is out of hope, borrow mine because I got some. Just borrow mine. And you know what? Taking a time out, taking a break is not quitting.
yeah,
It's resting, right? And I'm
right.
like, I'm like, if you need a timeout, take a timeout, but you got to get back in the game tomorrow morning because if you're out of the game too long, then you start to get all tightened up, and then you can't go back in the game. Then when you go back in the game, you're injured, you're hurt, you're not warm. So, and you can't go out of the game so long that you have to spend all your energy catching back up because then you got to take another timeout. So you have to be smart if you're going to take a timeout, but timeouts are needed. They're necessary, I think.
Right.
And it's not quitting.
No, I agree. And one of the things I do too with my girls is I text them and I pray for every single one of them every day, and they know it. Sometimes if I'm reading a devotional and it just hits me, I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to send it to her. And she's like, oh, I needed to hear that. So come at them all different directions. But the one thing, because I have had some coaches recently and they just took my money and they didn't really spend time with me. I really spend time with my girls. And if they need me 24/7, I may not answer the phone at 3 a.m, but I'll be there for them. So I walk alongside them. And I think, Trent, you do the same thing. We are there for them.
I've got a stage 4 liver cancer guy in New Zealand. And I mean, you would not believe, I lived in New Zealand for 20 years. So I know it inside and out, and the medical system and everything and all the stuff and how the people are in it. I mean, it's, my schedule is totally whacked right now. I get up at, I stay up till, 5 or 6 in the morning some days. And I get up at noon or 1 or 2. And my folks are like, I said, well, guys, like my clients are in New Zealand. Remember when I lived there? I mean, I'm just working normal hours because this is when they're awake, and they're just, and it just is what it is.
I know.
So, and hey, you know what? I'm thankful and fortunate that, I don't have to get up and go to work at 8 o'clock. I can't do that anyways because I'm handicapped from the hip cancer and all that stuff. So whatever. But, hey, do what I can do. And hey, great. I can do that. I can modify my schedule and do that thing. So, now you mainly work with ladies. Is there kind of an age group or kind of a, it's not really a target market. You mainly work with people that are in toxic relationships or that have been, and they are ready to take the step to get out of that or heal or.
They actually have to be out of the relationship. I can't, because they'll get sucked back in. Okay. And I don't want to waste their time, my time, and I don't want the husbands coming after me. But I know that because I everything about my coaching is based on my own experience, what my coach taught me and my own personal experience. I've walked it, so I know what it's like getting sucked back in. So I recently had to tell a mother, I'm so sorry, I can't work with your daughter because she's still in that relationship. But if she wants to call me, I'll be glad to just chat with her. But I can't actually just do the coaching because it's not going to be beneficial. And the girl, she wasn't open to calling me anyway. So.
It's a waste of everybody's time at that point because you're just on a rerun. I had a lady named Cheryl Wright on the show about a month ago. 3 weeks ago, whatever. And she wrote a book, Swimming with Alligators, and it is about her being in narcissist relationship. And she knows a lot about that. I had a narcissist business partner. I had a narcissist roommate at the same time for 7 or 8 years, a crossover. I had no idea. And I've dated one or two as well. And my gosh, that's a whole nother kettle of fish, if you will. But one thing, what I'm getting to is Cheryl said, the statistic is that someone in a relationship, abusive, narcissistic, whatever, they go back between 6 and 7 times before they break it off.
Yeah, I believe that.
Whoa. You know what? And I see what happens, because it happens to me. It happens to all of us. You're like, maybe they mean it this time. Maybe, you wish, you hope, you're eternal romantic, right? Or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of times they really do mean it, but they can't. Their core issue is they can't change. They might mean it at the time.
I respectfully disagree with you on that one, Denise. I think that maybe they mean it for the moment, but I still think, no offense, I don't mean to be rude to anybody, but narcissists are pieces of shit, okay? And just are. And I think there's only one way to deal with them. Cut them out of your life forever, get out, and don't come back. I don't want to see you, don't want to know you, lose my number, lose my phone. I don't want to see you ever again. But if you're caught up in a relationship and one, then you have to do what you can do. And I understand that too, right?
But once you get out, you're right, block them. You don't want any interaction, because they're so charming and charismatic. They can suck you back into that relationship, and whatever work you did on yourself is going to go down the tube. So that's the time to realize you are important, and don't let them gaslight you. Don't let them, overbuy whatever the love buying with all the gifts and stuff. It's not worth it.
Love bombing. Yeah. Yes. Right. Oh, that's happening. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. It's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. They take your self-worth and just shred it. So,
man.
And, a lot of times going into those relationships, maybe some of us women don't have a lot of self-worth. So coming out of it, it's brutal. So that's why
I think that those kind of people, they actually they have like their kind of checklist, and they figure out the people pleasers and the caring and the nice and the ethical and they exploit the crap out of that, man, and it is ruthless.
Right, Trent, that is exactly what they look for, is good, decent people, and then they just try to make them into, shred them to pieces so they feel better about themselves.
Yeah. So, interesting question. So, you kept kind of going into these relationships, and it kept happening over and over and over. And I've had a few conversations with people, and it's like, you feel like you kind of like, do I magnetize this? Like, do I have my frequency just going, hey, how do you, if you have I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but how do you kind of go like, I don't want to be that. How do you kind of, not be that magnet for that?
Well, at some point when you've had enough, you start focusing on yourself. So that energy that you were putting out there, you turn it around and start focusing on you. You've got to do the work. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's painful, but I'll tell you what is worth every bit of it, because when you come out better than you've ever been and stronger than you've ever been, and nobody's going to mess with you anymore. I mean, you're your own person, and like I said, you're a person of integrity, so you're true to yourself, you're true to others. That's what it is. Instead of looking outside of yourself, wanting somebody else to love you, you turn around and you love yourself, and that's when you attract someone good, like I did. That's when you are whole. I'm going to attract a whole person.
I love it. One of the cancer guys that I work with, he kind of bitter, he's like, God, I've had this cancer thing for 3 years and I'm like, dude, you know how many years that you have been doing this to yourself? And if we turn some things around, you could be cancer free in 6 months. Like, dude, you spent like 15 or 20 years destroying yourself. Right? And you could turn it all around in 6 months. No, your penance should be the 15 years that you've been doing that, and it doesn't go like for like. So, dude, if you got to just, pull up your bootstraps and get into it and go hard for 6 months, isn't that better than 15 years? Because it's like, if you don't went this far, then you got to come back this far. No, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
You went this far, but you can come back this far a lot quicker because now you got some tools. Now you got some knowledge. Now you got some ammo, baby. Right?
Right.
You got some weapons.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it's a lot faster to heal with someone if you got a coach or the tools, like you said. And one of the things that's so critical, and you're going to agree with me, I know it, negative self-talk is horrible. Our words have so much power. We need to speak affirming words, positive words about ourselves and others. I'm telling you, words carry energy and could be negative
Absolutely.
or positive. Much rather have positive.
You know what? I had about 9 surgeons in about 3 weeks in New Zealand all go like, from my orthopedic to my lung doctor to my pancreas to the radiologist and my GP, they're all like, "You'll be dead in a year. You're gonna be dead in a year. You're not gonna make it. You're in denial. You need to come to grips." And I'm just like, all he is, But you know how much kahunas it took to do that. And you know what? I am a facts guy. I am a practical dude. I am a spreadsheet guy. I am numbers, facts, practical, and this is what you get, right? And so I had to lie to myself for about 9 or 10 months every day going, "You're going to beat this cancer." I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at all. How am I going to, dude, I got a less than a 5% chance. I'm going to be dead in a year. But I kept going. I'm just going to win. I don't know how I'm going to win. I'm going to beat this. I told mom and dad I'm going to beat this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And it took me like 10 months and self-help stuff and, reading things and miracles and all of it, day and night. I would find something and I would like, let's say I found, a healing thing that I just really resonate with. I would play that day and night on repeat while I slept. Because I didn't even know about the subconscious thing back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, while I'm sleeping, it's going to get in my head and I'm going to wake up. And, like if I woke up in the middle and I was like singing the song or I was speaking it out loud, I was like, I'm talking in my sleep. I was like, okay, I got this one now kind of thing. And that's what I did. I believe that I talked my brain into believing that I was going to beat it. Because if you do that, your head will, you will bring what you say.
Yeah. What you think about, you bring about.
Oh, I love that one. Never heard that one.
I got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, man, you gave me a couple. I like the cup one filling up. Yeah, I fill your cup up. Yeah.
Well, one of the other things for sure is affirmations. A lot of people think when you repeat the same thing over again, I am a healthy person. I am a healthy person. They think, okay, you're just repeating it. Well, guess what? You are changing the neural pathways in your brain. Your subconscious is changing and it's starting to really believe it. It takes a while. Like you said, you have to repeat it. But I'm telling you, people can heal themselves as you show, as you have proven. It is the power of the mind and spirit. I believe it takes the two, in my opinion. But changing your thought patterns, your mindset, everything is just so critical to how you're going to develop.
It is, and hey, if you've been putting rubbish in there and you've been dealing with rubbish and you got rubbish around you, kind of rubbish, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I first learned about boundaries.
We've talked all over the place. This is usually what happens in my podcast, but
Okay.
So it's always cool. But I feel like we always cover the topic, and we like it's the people. We've got a couple people listening, which is cool. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to talk about? Any topic, any point, anything you're like, I always cover this or say this that we've missed?
Well, no, we've said a lot of what I already believe about self-love and putting yourself first. The thing about boundaries, what I was going to just say a minute ago, once I learned a little bit about boundaries and what it really meant, not just for myself, boundaries, the word no is a complete sentence. But once I learned that, I realized people were using me and I had to say goodbye to them in my life. You don't want to be around people that are users and sucking your, what do they call them?
Energy
Um,
vampire.
that's it. That's it. Energy vampires. Yeah. So that's another thing. I mean, and they're healthy boundaries. It's to protect your emotional and your physical. Okay. You just
Right.
set those up.
Yeah.
So there's just so many tools, Trent. I know you work with them. I work with them. And I just want people to reach out to us. Um, it's Mother's Day Sunday and it's my birthday. And
Yay!
I'm having a special, so if people want to go down into your show notes and look for the offer, it's down there. It's very reasonable. I'm just giving it away because it's
Yeah.
my birthday, and I
Cool.
want
I
to
love it.
help people. And I try to keep it to like small group, very intimate,
Okay.
and then a lot of one-on-ones.
Yeah. So hey, give us your website, tell it to us a couple times, and how do people get the easiest way to get in touch with you? And I can go through, like, you are on several social medias as well, but tell us the best, easiest way to get in touch with you.
Yeah. Just the website is DeniseAnnWillis.com. That's easy. Once you go there you can click on the link on Mother's Day special. There's lots of free resources there too. There's a lot of free stuff on that website. You can contact me if you want to chat. Love to chat with you.
Yeah.
Not a sales pitch. I'm not a sales girl. I don't. One thing, as a previous accountant, I don't know how to sell. Don't know how to market. I just know how to help people because I've been through it myself and so appreciate the help that I got. So
Absolutely.
Again, DeniseAnnWillis.com is the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Cool. And guys, that's Denise with an E, obviously, but Ann with not an E. So it's
Right.
A-N-N. There's no E in Ann on this one, okay? And Willis, well, if you can't spell that, well,
yeah, right.
Where is Willis? What about Willis? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Denise Ann Willis, guys, and Denise is on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube as well. And all that will be available on YouTube and Facebook, and the notes that I do and all that stuff. So hey, this is what I always tell guys. I tell people, it's like, if you liked what you heard today, and if you got a cancer thing, please, get in touch with me. But if you're one of the ladies, right, and you've liked what you've heard today from Denise, reach out. We can't read your mind.
You know
right?
what? And
you got it. You have to just.
We spent a lot of time going through our own journey, and now it's our joy to serve you and go through your journey with you. So, it's a win-win for both sides. I've done a lot of pro bono work. I don't have to charge all the time.
Yeah.
I just love what I do, and I have to keep doing it because it makes my heart expand.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, Denise is very genuine, guys. You can see that, you can feel that. And here's the thing I always tell people, you just have to muster up just enough to just do that first message.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hey, we meet you 90% the way. If we got to come 90% to get to you, we will. And so, but we don't know if you don't say something. So you have to make the first step. That's all you have to do. And then, hey, we'll come with you from the second step forward. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like to tell people. Right. And so if anything that you heard resonated with you about Denise, do it. DeniseAnnWillis.com. Okay.
Thank you.
And hey, we got the book. The book is on Amazon. And anything else do you want to?
Also, I have a quiz that's kind of fun. It's a self-worth quiz. Same thing. Go to the website and I'll have it posted on there. So
cool.
It was in the show notes. I don't know. There was a link for it, but we'll make sure that it pops up in some of the different social media platforms as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, tell me what the quiz does. Tell us about the quiz.
It's self-worth. You just answer, and it immediately, we have all the scoring in it. And as soon as you finish it, it checks your score and sends you an email with what that means.
Okay.
And where you're at.
Okay.
With your
awesome, guys. Awesome. That sounds cool. Well, hey, if you're good, I'm good, and I'm going to take us out. And if you don't mind, just stick around after after it goes down, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this was great, Trent. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're what a wonderful guest. Yeah, I had a great time talking to you. So many things in common, and like I mean, there are just some certain core things that the same coaches do. It doesn't matter what industry and what you do and whatever. And I know that I'm a great coach, and so I'm just kidding. And so I know if we have a few of those core things, that we do the same, I'm like, we're on the same wavelength, and you're going to get somebody awesome, guys. So, hey, another episode of Conquerors Crew. God bless. Godspeed to you for the rest of this week, and never forget that grit don't quit. Right. We're out.